Top 5 illegal drugs that produce the most dopamine in your brain. Now, one of the biggest things that hooks an addict and gets us addicted to a substance is dopamine. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter for feeling good, big mood, energy, all of that. And when dopamine runs out, guess what? Now we're going to use a substance again to get it back. And these are the top 5 illegal drugs that produce dopamine in your brain from less to greatest. The least amount one, I don't necessarily agree with. I don't even count it as an illegal drug because it's legal in most states, but is marijuana. Marijuana does produce a small amount of dopamine in the very beginning when you first use it. That's one of the things that helps break away that anxiety of feeling, how people explain that it helps them with social anxiety, because it does produce a small amount of dopamine. The second one is actually not known for dopamine production, but is MDMA. MDMA is more known as something that affects the serotonin side of your brain, but it also does produce dopamine. Number 3 is going to be stuff such as heroin, fentanyl, opiates. Those produce dopamine in your brain. Now you're starting to go to something that's actually producing more dopamine. Number 2 is crack cocaine. That is one of the largest producing dopamine just substances there is. That's why there is so many people and why crack is so addictive, why cocaine is so addictive, because of what it does to your dopamine and not allowing the reuptake, which means the dopamine's latching onto your neurotransmitters and not clearing off. And the number 1 is crystal meth. Methamphetamines is the number 1 producing dopamine substance that there is. It produces a massive amount of dopamine in your brain. One of the most addictive substances there are is, and that's why I share for educational purposes only, for the ones out there trying to understand addiction or trying to understand how could somebody even be addicted to a substance. The addiction is truly insanity. There's a lot of insanity behind it. But understanding it sometimes helps people realize that there's nothing that you can do. An addict has to want to get sober. It's up to an addict to actually fight for sobriety. And it is one of these that a lot of it starts to really affect our brain. And that's one of the biggest struggles out there. I got sober 7/25/17, and it is a battle. It is a fight. But once you give all that energy that you once put into your addiction, into your sobriety, it's amazing what happens. And I will say there's so many resources out there. There's NA, there's AA, therapy, therapists, medication. There's treatment centers, inpatient and outpatient. There's so much out there. Find what works for you, because it's about you, finding what works for you and fighting through every single day, because it does get better and it is worth it.